guy still very much in the White House and still very much up for the fight and still very much fighting, and now calling on the Senate to confirm quickly Loretta Lynch as the next Attorney General. The president isn't calling the Republican delay racially driven, but some Democratic lawmakers are, and that is the kind of talk Milwaukee County Sheriff David Clarke finds so offensive. He joins me now in the flesh. Good to see you.
Yeah, it's my pleasure. Thank you.
So the president isn't saying this Republican delay is racially driven. Democrats are. How do Republicans counter that they're holding Lynch out?
Well, first of all, as you know, Neil, race is an explosive issue in the United States. It always has been and always will be. People reach for this race card when either they don't have an intellectual argument in the political fight that's going on here with Loretta Lynch. The other reason they reach for it is because they know people will flee, people will run, and maybe they can get people to act. But with a guy like Dick Durbin, you know, shame on him, okay? Dick Durbin voted against Condoleezza Rice in her confirmation to be Secretary of State. He also voted against Janice Rogers Brown to become a federal judge.
But that wasn't deemed racist, was it?
2 black females, right? So a good counter argument to Dick Durbin would be, especially when he invoked Rosa Parks into this argument, if Dick Durbin was driving that bus that Rosa Parks got on that day, she wouldn't have had to worry about sitting at the back of the bus. He'd have drove right by and left her on the bus stop. Because you have to have a counter strategy instead of getting into the denials right away. I'd usually, no, I'm not a racist. I met Mitch McConnell, had a discussion with him last year. Mitch McConnell might be a lot of things. He is not a racist.
But you also said Republicans just have to do more than they're doing because the perception is there's a frustration on the part of the African-American community with Democrats. But then what do Republicans do to say, all right, either you've been lied to or you've been taken advantage of? What?
Well, first of all, they have to connect emotionally, all right? They have to go into these urban centers and connect emotionally with people. And they can't just do it at election time, which is what we usually see. They'll come out and say, hey, you're being exploited for your vote. Your vote's being taken for granted. All of this is true. But at election time, those voters say, hey, wait a minute. Why are they coming around now? This is just politics. It's political. I'm staying with the way my voting pattern that I've done for the last X amount of years. So they have to do a lot more work up front. And then they have to find people who can carry that message. People like me, I said, use me. You know, I'm emotionally connected in my community. And that goes a long way than having a guy like Mitch McConnell to come and talk to a
Well, when you hear, like a Ted Cruz announcing today, and there'll be others, as we've said, Sheriff, do any of them appeal to you?
We got a long way to go. Yeah. We really do. I'm a friend of Scott Walker's. We worked together. He was a county executive when I became sheriff. I know he and his wife. I think that there's some other people that need to be vetted. I want this process to play itself out so that they can be properly vetted so we don't end up in a situation that we have right now where someone wasn't properly vetted.
All right, we've had a very raucous last few months in this country, racial riots and the like. Things have kind of calmed down, but it doesn't take much to ignite them again. And you said that part of it is the media's responsibility, not to overplay or push a false narrative, the hands up, don't shoot thing, for example. What else?
Well, the media did a huge disservice. The media walked away from their responsibility under the First Amendment to stay neutral and to get to the truth, and they became the communication wing of this anarchist cop-hating movement. And I thought that was despicable. So you're right. It's a flashpoint at any time, any incident. It isn't just police shootings and law enforcement that can spark this thing. And, when that happens, though, there has to be some voice of reason somewhere. You'd like for it to be someone who has a huge profile, president. Doesn't have to be the president or the attorney general.
So here you are in New York City. A lot of controversy, certainly with police, with Mayor de Blasio.
Yeah, he didn't help the situation at all.
You're going to visit him while you're here?
No, but I will be meeting with Bill Bratton.
Will you really?
Yes. Tomorrow, as a matter of fact, tomorrow afternoon. That's why I'm in town to spend some time looking at their counterterrorism efforts.
Did he invite you?
Actually, Bill and I go back a little ways. Went out and visited him when he was the commissioner at LAPD, sure. And he told me to come out then, and I took a look at that operation. That was about 5
very encouraging.
And so I want to try to do that again.
You ever think he's in a bind, with his boss, the mayor? You can only say so much.
Yeah, when you're a political appointee, your hands are tied. That's why I like being independently elected. I'm only accountable to the people, the voters, and yeah, but if I do things that they don't like, they have a way of getting rid of
fuss
me.
you,
But that way, though, I know I have to stay tethered to the voters. Commissioner Bratton has to stay tethered to the mayor because the mayor will dump him in a, what I like to say, a New York minute.
A New York minute or Milwaukee minute.
Well.
Well, it's so good seeing you, Sheriff. Thank you very, very much. Good luck at that meeting.
Thanks,
If
Neil.
the mayor stops by, boy, tell me and I'll get a Fox crew over there because that'll be a moment. Sheriff David Clarke. In the meantime, ISIS just